All right, we hit the button.
Ta-da!
Hey man, Dave's not here. Nice. So we have the usual suspects. We have the world's sexiest hand. There's Todd, and Mr. Rad Reselling himself, the vice president of Missouri, as a matter of fact, John, and
It don't take much to get that in Missouri. They just give it out for free.
and the highest YouTuber on the planet. There's Dave. So there you go. And so I am not responsible for what comes out of my mouth in the next 20 or 30 minutes because I've already drank about this much Crown. And I'm a person that doesn't drink very much. So I'm already pretty buzzed. And so I just don't care. I really don't care.
I think he's on to something. I think I'm going to join the party tonight.
Yeah, this was
a got a handle.
I got a handle. We're going to call it a twofer. We'll do cocktails and Scooby. All right.
So if you can see what mood I was in, if you look at the thumbnail, did you check out my great artwork on the thumbnail, John?
Yeah, I was looking at it before I joined the live. I was let me turn my other screen off. But yeah, because I had it pulled up and I was looking at it, but I was so busy trying to get a couple things done before we got going.
So if y'all are new, I apologize for what you're about to hear, but it's just the truth. I am already in my mid-50s. Oh my God, that's another story. But I'm to the point in my life. I've way past been the point in my life for this that I just don't give a fuck anymore. And truly, I don't have time for hateful people. I don't have time for nonsense of stupid fucking people. And so that's where I'm at. I've got a lot of good friends that I've met through this YouTube channel, and I appreciate each and every one of them. But when somebody attacks my friends out of ignorance, I mean, give me a break. If you don't like what somebody says, just don't listen. It's not that hard to be a nice human. This is not that difficult. Nobody comes out and attacks you, and you think because you hide behind a keyboard, Google can't find you? I can promise you Google can find you. I've got a friend, and I will not name him. He's on vacation right now. But he would like nothing more. You know, he wouldn't do it because he's a pretty decent guy. But if you challenged him and his manhood and said, you know, let's just go screw with this person for the fun of it because that's what you love to do and used to do, he could rain terror down upon your life that you would not know. But I am a gentle soul, and I was trained from using that kind of power. Am I lying, Dave? I'm not exaggerating.
No. Not at all.
It's just if something doesn't work for your business or your business model, fine. Why do you care what worked for somebody else? You know, we are all on here just telling our own experience, telling what we think works. We all have an opinion. They're like assholes. Everybody has one. They're brown and they stink. There's not a right one. There's not a wrong one. Because you can type on a keyboard and threaten somebody's life doesn't make yours any better. You want me to sit on here with all my guns and tell you how much you suck? I mean, it's just stupid. We have no time for that kind of shit. And I know the names, and I'm not going to name the names. And at least one of the channels I listen to, and you know, opinion was halfway decent, but it shocked me to be such a small-minded person. It's awful, folks. 2024 is you need to be about business. If you want to understand, if you can't make simple decisions in your life to treat others with kindness and compassion, your business is never going to make it because you can't treat a customer worth a damn. If you cannot treat your friends, people, it's never going to happen. It shows who you truly are as a person. And you may have temporary success, or you may have been doing something for a long time. But as things change and you treat people around you like that, you're going to be alone. This life is a journey. I'm telling you, life is much better spent with friends and people around you than just lashing out at other people because you're so miserable with your own existence. And that's what this has come down to. You know, people that have given their time to say, "Hey, I've tried this. I screwed up." I've made videos this year where I'll say, "Hey, wait a minute, I told you wrong. Go watch this." because I care to put out the right information. I care to tell you what I've tried. There's no right or there's no wrong. It's just information for you to understand and consume. That you want, and so I'm trying to counsel people. YouTube has filters. You can come put all the damn comments on my filters. Come at me in the comments and all that stuff. But you're dealing with a professional. You can't tell me anything that the crazy people when they put my big video on World Star Hip Hop didn't call me. I can promise you that. I can promise you, you can't call me anything. I was on the front page of World Star Hip Hop for 3 days. They called me everything but a child of God, and they made fun of everything, and they came for me at the comments. Go look at the big video, how many comments are up. I can tell you this: I've got the filters on where you can rant, you can rave, you can call me this, you can call me that. No one will ever see it. And that's the part I tried to teach John. I'm like, John, if you set up, not this John, other John, set up the filters. You read the comments. I don't even read them. I just delete them. If I have to approve them, I delete them. Sorry. Dave asked me, Dave's like, somebody came after one of your shorts. He goes, here's the comment. He goes, wait a minute, I'm going to read it to you. I'm reading it to you. I'm like, this was just today. And I'm like, all right, Dave, I'm waiting. Because I know I'd already deleted it. I'm like, I'm waiting, Dave. I'm waiting.
That's funny.
And Dave's like, I can't seem to find it. I'm like, no shit.
You deleted it already.
Do not give these people time of day. Your time, your life, your value as a human is worth way more than these slime ball scumbags who talk bad about others and can't treat somebody with kindness and compassion. I don't have time for that. When my wife comes home who has fought and beat breast cancer, and this chat has been absolutely wonderful, donating to her cause and allowing her to take a lot of stuff over there, comes home to tell me that her best friend that she over there and the world of volunteering was just re-diagnosed with cancer after 12 years. There's more important things in this world than we're running what some rando stranger on the internet has to say. I just don't care. I don't care. I've invested 35 years in that woman. I honestly, I need to be positive. I need to be strong, and I need to be of mental fortitude that I don't put up with the crap that comes on here. And so, you shouldn't either. In your own life, if there's somebody negative, I don't care who they are, you got to cut them out. Okay, so my sister-in-law was so negative with my wife, and when we moved back here, she's like, "It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different." I'm like, "She's a psycho," but I didn't say anything. And after 3.5, 4 years of being here, Joni finally cut her off. Has not spoken to her own sister in 4 or 5 years now. Folks, it is hard to cut negativity out of your life. You got to do it. You have got to freaking do it. How do you treat others with the way you want to be treated and with kindness and compassion? Get rid of the trash. You don't listen to the noise. As you guys know, most of you know, a couple of years ago, I was wrapped up in politics. John at the same time. This John was too. We were both right wing lunatics. It got either one of us nowhere. I pay a little attention to it. I keep up with it just barely, but not much anymore because I'm a better human for not dealing with the negativity, and you will be too. I can promise you. Let's go over some super chat. That's all, Brenda. You always support me, Brenda. I appreciate you so much. You treat every equally. I don't believe that for a second, Brenda. Sorry. You've got a heart of gold no matter what you try to say, and I do appreciate you. Hey, John, thank you so much for the super chat. You had a great show. Just tell them like it is. See, I don't have time for fake and artificial friends. When I got a friend like Pat right here who is fighting that damn beast again. I can't tell you. I've been praying for you a lot, Pat. And when I saw that you had your test and you posted it that you had some shrinkage in the tumor, and man, I can't tell you how thrilled I was, man. It is.
Yeah, down 35%, and my other number dropped dramatically too. So I may be on treatments the rest of my life, but I don't care as long as I'm here.
As long as you're here, man, because you're truly a first class human being, Pat. And I've told people that before. You're an absolute joy, man. I appreciate you being around. So you're a fight.
So are we meeting up in 2024?
Yeah, so Phil says he's doing the national meetup, so we're gonna do the national meetup this year. I'll give Phil a call.
All right.
Where's that at?
we're going to do the Nashville meetup this year. I don't know where it's going to be. Probably Nashville.
I thought you said national.
I thought he said national too. I was like, he's
I
done
thought
good
he
work.
said
Yeah, I'm already on the sauce. I'm about halfway through this drink, and I don't drink much. I mean, when I say I don't drink much, that's the first drink I've had since probably before Thanksgiving. So it's hitting me pretty good. But it's just I just don't have time for it, man. Life is social, and y'all know I've had people on the internet who have been very good friends who have stabbed me in the back. It's happened twice, very publicly twice, and I have walked away. You never heard me mention their names again. Well, one a little bit, but the other one never. And I don't say anything bad about them. Their names are blocked in chat, so I never discuss it. Just move on.
Yeah, it's a waste of breath.
If you don't cut it out of your life, it affects you. You lose. And so John did the right thing tonight. Even though I wanted him to be angrier. Finally reaching the point where it's all blocked out, then get rid of the noise. You just gotta. At the end of the day, I mean, reselling is hard, folks. Do y'all know? Those of you who have promised, from all these YouTubers who promised you great riches and everything by just going to yard sales and thrift stores and you're going to be millionaires and you're going to find a holy grail at the end of every yard sale. That's bullshit. It's about the grind. It's about, can you be consistent enough in the grind? Follow the rules of the platforms. And when the platform says, hey, we're going this way, you can either fight against them going this way and go that way and hate the rest of us, or move and make your life easier. And it's not just an eBay thing. How much fighting, Mr. That Other Guy, did we do against Amazon?
Yeah.
Between the two guys in the middle, I can tell you, y'all don't know anything. You eBay sellers don't know shit.
Yeah.
Go fight with Amazon. Go deal with the beast that is Amazon.
Yeah, I deal with them.
That's right, Pat. You sell just as much as we do over there. It is a different world, and you don't get the option of you don't call and tell them what it is, folks. If you are rude and ugly enough to an Amazon customer service representative, they will delete your account forever. I don't think people are aware of that. You call up and cuss out an Amazon sales rep or Amazon customer service rep, you will be banned for life. They take it that serious.
You got to be less than that and be banned for life.
I tell you, though, you got to be in tune. I have 4 items. The top price item, $125, that people have been trying to scam me and say all the same item, different parts of the country, it was never delivered. And give me my money back right away. I called up Amazon. I said, look, somebody's committing fraud here. I said, what they're doing is they're trying to pressure me. They probably think I'm an employee, and I'm just going to, right off the bat. The last one, Amazon said to me, get signature confirmation. So I paid the extra $15. Same thing. They're trying to say, and they're not getting their money. And they agree with me that there's something going on. And I brought it up to their fraud department, and they're looking into it to make sure that, because there are people scamming the system. But I did not to brag or nothing, but I've had a rough year. I was listing every day until May, and then unfortunately ran into an issue with my sister-in-law, had some legal mess and is divorcing her husband, and then found out in basically the first week of August I had cancer. And yet I'm still up this year on Amazon and eBay. And so
and you're doing, and you started Whatnot this year. You saw.
Oh yeah. I do Whatnot. I do YouTube. I do Amazon. I do. I even did one flea market. I was supposed to do more, and then it rained. And then when I got the bad news, I just wasn't in the mood to be hauling stuff there on a Sunday and stuff like that. So
don't forget about OnlyFans, Pat. You do OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, but you're the only one that signed up. So I mean,
it's
yeah.
I'm still paying $100 a month. So
yeah, what the hand pick that I sent you is not me. I sent my royalty check to Todd.
And the Terminator isn't real. It's all in my head. It's okay.
Archie wants to know about this stuff. They only make it during the holidays. It is extremely good.
As long as I believe, Pat D's, that's all that matters. Santa Claus ain't real, but people believe.
I told my wife,
shit, he's real. He came to my house.
Yeah, so will I if I ever get close to Pennsylvania.
I mean, look, Ron Harbor is here saying good evening, and he has a football team, Texas A&M, that sucks. So, Ron, I mean, there's people out here. Here's Ron. Ron's had a couple of transplants. How many surgeries you had in your life, Ron? And you are still the kindest, most gentle, positive person I've met. I'll talk to Ron on the phone probably twice a month, maybe 3 times a month. Man, just a kind soul. I mean, if anybody needs to be angry, Pat should be angry. Ron should be angry because they're not dealt the same. My wife should be angry for not dealing the same. Because you're mad about promoted listings and you're gonna wreak havoc on others because of fucking promoted listings. Are you serious?
You know, John is a good guy and he comes off very meek because he's such a kind-hearted person. He's not me. He's not you, Scott. He's not out here willing to just do what he has to do. And, so they're going to pick on him. And that's the thing is that, he's a good guy. When anyone plays the good guy, you're going to get walked on. And sometimes you just got to be a little rough with people.
See, this kind of hate cannot be tolerated, RG. Your team is worse than Ron's. Oh, my God. It's just terrible.
Terrible, man.
How about the Cowboys?
Terrible.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
Terrible.
So James W. is not a kind person. I'd agree with that, James. You've always been nice to me, but you've been respectful. James W. and I is a great example. We don't always agree on everything. We have arguments in a chat back and forth. I respect his opinion. I respect the fact that he has an opinion as an adult, and we don't see things. I know he's one hell of an entrepreneur. I know James has had all kinds of businesses that he started. He is one hell of an entrepreneur. I can still learn from James and his experience. I don't have to agree with everything somebody says. That's the craziness of this damn world. Do not let the outside world convince you guys that if you disagree with someone, you hate them. And that's where all this vitriol comes from. They have decided and they have told you that if you don't 100% agree with somebody, you hate it. I can promise you right now, there's a woman in there I love more than anything on this planet. And for 35 years, we don't agree on everything. I can promise you we don't agree. And I couldn't love her anymore. I promise you. And I can tell you, John feels the same way by his wife.
What genre are we talking about?
John Rad Relics. He gives his wife just as much grief as I give mine. And
that good.
I would never do such a thing, Scott Zilke.
Yeah,
I couldn't find another woman to marry me if she left me. I'd be in trouble. I told her, you leave me, I'm taking and getting my suitcase, packing it, going with you. I guess you got 2 husbands now. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, the great pictures of, and the captions of his pictures today or yesterday was, Frances didn't want me to take her picture. Here it is.
Yeah, I do like, because she doesn't think, she's 42 years old and she doesn't look like she looked when she was 18. I'm like, no crap, but let's compare the field. Let's whip out the yearbook and start looking people up on Facebook and see what they look like.
So here's the problem, Brenda. For the most part, I don't. But if somebody attacks me, attacks a friend, I still think the chat has people ask questions in the chat, and I read every comment, and I want people to learn. So I don't want you to be exposed to hate. So if somebody, the last one that I deleted, the one that he was looking for was some guy who I'd never even had any interaction with. So I guess reselling just doesn't pay like it used to. Steve has gone to get another job. And so does this, and Scott doesn't tell people that his wife gets a check from the government. So there.
But why who's hating and being negative? First of all,
my wife is on disability. She would trade you all her medical conditions and 17 surgeries of breast cancer to go to work today.
And let me tell you, her one check,
$1,000 a month, $1,000 a month, folks.
Her one check is probably what Scott makes in a day or 2. Reselling.
I've sold more in the last 3 days than that check was. So yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Because
So Lance White, man, hey, congratulations. This is his last chemo infusion is next week, 12 total.
Nice.
Good job.
I don't wish that on anybody. Man, life is too short. There's so many different problems. Promoted listings don't even make the list of a top 100. Folks, this is we argue and take things way too. You take your own importance way too serious. There are people that are fighting to be here. That promoted listings don't matter. Your business and my business are completely different. Whether I promote or not, Who cares? I'm just telling you what I do.
Amy's saying, flipping with Amy saying, hey guys, I'm having problems with eBay right now. Photo section not working. Is anyone else seeing that? Anyone on the panel or anyone that's in chat?
What's going on?
Photos.
So
Then we'll
DS
get
says,
married, Pat News, me and you.
yeah, I'll catch up with it. This says, what's up, everybody? For years, but we used to watch back in the days of Golden Figure. I love Chad. Chad's a good guy. I've spent time at his house. Wonderful family, and I miss Dusty to this day. I think about him a lot. You know, you want to see who didn't get a raw deal? Dusty and Tristan were taking of us in their 40s.
Yeah, 3 weeks apart.
And Harlan's brother at 44, gone. Folks, there's way more serious things in this world.
Yeah, than people.
In a couple of weeks, Kevin will be 2 years gone. In a couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks. It's hard to believe that somebody. You want to talk to somebody with some promise. Kevin did everything right. Kevin Tyree was somebody even way younger than me, 10 years younger than me. I looked up to him. That dude had everything. He had everything together. Great job, nice family, made all the right decisions. Was working on his health, and I didn't get out of the recliner at 44 years old. There's more important things in his life than it's just absolutely crazy. So Lance, right? God's fighting for me, and how He is undefeated. You're absolutely right. I've been carrying. I have a great prognosis. So that's a struggle. I don't talk a lot about it, but when Joni was in the chemo room, and we knew that she had a decent, better than average prognosis, to know that there were 72 people in the chairs every time she went in there, that she was probably lucky. How do you reconcile the fact that you're probably lucky and you're still there? It's so I'm glad you got a good diagnosis. Cancer sucks. I hate cancer. It took my father. If you guys don't know, my dad died at 43 years old of cancer. So, hey, Jim and Tara. Yep, Tony. Sometimes you have to let people. Sometimes you just have to cut people out. It's hard, folks. It's absolutely.
Well, and I would say one thing. Yes, I agree that, and like I have a close family member that we see a few times a year at holidays, and if in casual conversation a political view comes up that she doesn't agree with, she pretty much goes, she just loses her mind. It's like, relax. You're entitled to your opinion, but you don't have to force it on everybody. And I'm not trying to convert you. Just have your opinion, state it,
Yeah.
be done.
Yeah, it's Lance, that's the one thing you got to be careful of. 82,000 sales cleared 18. People they like to tell you their gross sales, but they don't want, everybody's business is different. So you don't know whether they got employees, what kind of overhead expenses they've got. They can show you that. There was 2 years ago, a guy I've met a couple times wanted to always be $1 million seller. And he is one again this year, and he's done really well this year. But 2 years ago, he wanted so desperately to be $1 million seller that he sold $1 million worth of stuff on Amazon and lost money.
Yep.
Folks, the numbers, you got the numbers. I'm just scanning through a lot of people. Amazon, I'd only do books. There's risk management in every platform, and Amazon. Once you've been on Amazon, you learn what you can and can't sell. All these people that say they're surprised they're selling some small micro brand of whatever. Yeah, the bigger the brand, the less chance they have of looking for you. The smaller brands, but it's just the way of it. So Operation Liquidation, been grinding. Last thing we saw of you, you made a video of moving into your new building. That's the last video I saw of you. Now down 4% this time. It's not a terrible thing, folks. Sometimes you just got to survive. Tough times. There's a weeding out going on right now, and then people are clawing, scratching. And the one thing that and this is by design, folks, they are trying to make you dependent on someone. I truly believe they're trying to make you dependent on the government for handouts, and they're They're trying to start a living wage where they pay you to do whatever they tell you to do, so they can control you. But that's a different. We can have that discussion another day. But the economy. Look at where we've been with inflation, and now, oh my goodness, we've got inflation under control. It's because you jacked the interest rates up to the world, and now you're going to take the interest rates back down. But everybody's going, oh great, houses are going to be more affordable. We can buy houses. When the interest rate goes down, the prices are going to go back to the roof. Just wait. By this time next year, everybody's going to be complaining about the skyrocket inflation. Right now, the offset is gas right now. If you don't know, right now, the offset right now is petroleum. If you don't, gas is slowly sliding down. Gas is about $2.49 a gallon here in Alabama.
Wow.
That is currently, Todd, tell them what your gas is.
It was $2.25 2 weeks ago.
There you go.
Hey, Craig, ours is $3.39. I just got some tonight. And it was $3.89 6 weeks ago. But I always find it funny. Every election year, gas prices go down.
Yeah.
And there's no difference in supply or demand or shortage. It's all bullshit.
Yep.
A youth pastor? No, I've not been a youth pastor. I've taught Sunday school. I've been a chairman of the finance committee. I've never been a youth pastor.
Hey, Scott, you got a $5 super chat from Brenda.
Oh.
Cool. Thank you, Brenda. Did we talk about you enough? Made you come on? Hey, don't be frowning like that.
Does she look mad? Is she mad?
She's not mad.
No.
She's not mad. She's too damn pretty to be mad. Come on, a smile.
But it's life is way too short, folks. I mean, I can't believe that I'm way over halfway down with life. It is crazy that you need to take care of what's important. Family, people around you that love you, that care less about what these other people think. The sooner you get to the mindset of a 50-year-old like I am, that just doesn't care anymore. I don't care what anybody thinks. I mean, I do care enough that I'm not going to wear pajamas to Walmart. I do draw a line somewhere.
Why not? Everybody else is doing it.
Are you going?
I'll join Harlan. I'll join Harlan and wear shorts to Walmart, but I'm not wearing pajamas.
Oh my gosh.
That reminds me, I haven't looked at people of Walmart in a while.
Oh my
I haven't
god.
either.
I was there tonight. It didn't look too bad.
So
Oh, the website.
No, the website.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
So it is. Oh, hold on. We have got royalty showing up. Holy shit!
Wow.
Wow.
Holy
Hey,
cow!
The Brady Bunch here.
I know we need one more. One more.
I talked so much
more.
about
Where's Harlan?
So if you guys don't know, this is Josh and John. They have a podcast they do together. It's great information. And the thing that's crazy is all they do like I do. I just try to give information. You can take it or leave it. You can try it. You can do whatever. But it's amazing if you try to teach people how mad they get. If I don't teach you the way somebody approves, they get mad. It's amazing.
Petty.
I mean, I guess I didn't get the memo. They didn't send me a letter saying, hey, don't tell them about this. Because if you go back and look at my videos, I told y'all 4 years ago that promoted listings were a cash grab, but they were here to stay, and you better get good at it, because if not, you were not gonna get seen. I told y'all that 4 years ago. And it's just and they decided to up the listing. I mean, up the game. So it's not going anywhere. What are you? Oh, are you working on the smoke?
Yeah.
Smells good. Don't lie.
I thought your backdrop was a Christmas tree, by the way. What the hell happened to the Christmas tree?
I'm down in the basement. My tree's up there. We fine tune it, and it's not coming down. I'm not changing.
So for those of y'all who don't know, Pat never takes his Christmas tree down. It stays up year round.
That's awesome.
People made fun of me for it, but I don't give it. Who's telling me I pay the mortgage in my house?
I like this tree.
So here's a great statement. Trina says, I hate selling clothing. Trina, I hate it too. Does that make selling clothing a wrong model? It absolutely doesn't. There are tons of people who sell clothing, who make a lot of money, are really good at it. I just happen to hate it.
I saw a lot of clothes. The newer stuff with tags works better, but
so I sent Josh. I sent Josh Galt an email like about a week ago. Giving him a theory on something, and he sent me some diatribe, not really about antiques. And he was going. I'm sitting here reading it, thinking, "Oh my God, this dude knows more about antiques that I can learn for the rest of my freaking life." The knowledge people have in different subjects, and that's why it's so crazy that people want to tell you you're wrong, and they have no idea what you sell or how to sell what you sell.
I have used everything Josh sells.
Because you're that old.
Talking about antiques.
Who sent me a message?
I've seen some old stuff.
It was about Chinese vases or something, and I'm like, holy hell! I
From
do
the
good.
Ming Dynasty or something.
Yeah, something about, I think it was like vases or something. I don't remember what we were talking about exactly, but yeah, something along those lines.
But I had the theory that promoted listings wouldn't work as much on antiques because for some whatever harebrained idea I came up with, and so he started talking to me about antiques and the way they sell all this stuff. I'm like, don't discount how much you know. You don't just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you have to take it. You're better off for hearing a different perspective because you can. If you don't take the chance to, first of all, I 100% believe if you don't fail in reselling, you never learn. It's tuition. I've said that for years and years. I've heard Josh say the same thing. So you've got to, but you never learn too if you don't expose yourself to different ideas and at least vet them out to see if they're any good or not.
Yep.
I'm not smart enough to do all this stuff. That's why I listen to other people to get their perspective on an idea.
That's right. That's right.
If I don't agree with it, doesn't mean I don't hate them. It just means I don't use it. It doesn't make their information any less valuable. It just means it's not any good for me.
But that's just not society now. I mean, it's like you watch the news. It's ingrained in, if you don't believe what we're saying or agree with what we're saying, then you're the problem. And that's not the way it should be.
What is this thing called the news?
I don't know. Haven't watched it in years.
Nope.
But I'm aware that's the way the world is turning right now. And if you don't agree with whomever is, in charge of the narrative, then you're the problem, not them.
Todd, you remember
I'm the problem.
Todd, you remember this happened in silver when everybody was friends when the price of silver was going up, and then as soon as the price of silver started coming down, all the influencers turned on each other, and then it was fighting, and it was all this threatening and everything else. And it feels like it's happening in eBay. During the pandemic, everything was great. Everyone's making money. As soon as things come off the rails a little bit, people's worst personalities come out. I feel like.
And why would they attack? I mean, look at your face, John. Look at your face, Josh. Who could hate on that crap?
Let's talk about me.
A devil in disguise, Todd. A devil in disguise.
The two prettiest boys on YouTube reselling right there.
But the frustrating thing is we can't ask you to do the same.
No, you don't want to see this shit.
Todd,
oh, sorry.
What are you drinking? I'll have some of that. I'll have 2 of whatever you're having.
Right.
I had a whiskey in my Diet Coke. Sorry.
So
you're right, Josh. The gold and silver community got after each other when the price was dropping. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Lex, I'm the same way. Can't delete that contact. Sorry, I don't know why. It's been 2 years. Harlan's brothers in there too. Can't delete contact. Just can't. I mean, if y'all want something controversial or y'all really want something to argue about, I'll unleash me and John Rad Relics will sit here for the next 20 minutes and talk about the belief that Trump is part of the end of the world as it relates to Israel and the moving of the capital of Jerusalem.
That's exactly why he was elected president. I don't want to get started. Scott, you're
Right.
getting me tingling. Don't do it. you teasing me, you son of a. we going to the promised land.
Promoted listings is not it. I mean, if you want something controversial, we can go controversial. I promise. So you know,
I can tell you how I do promoted listings and why I do it. My promoted listings, I don't promote anything for the first 30, 60, 90 days. But then if it doesn't sell after 90 days, then I promote it. Like that's the best of both worlds. Like there's like that's how I do it.
That's how I do it.
If I list this PS2 and I list it, I don't list it with any promotion on it because it's a PS2. Somebody might come along and buy it. But after 90 days and it ain't sold, I either need to lower the price, maybe promote it. There could be a lot of PS2s out there. That solves the problem. I don't understand why it's so controversial. Like out of all the things that people can get ass hurt for,
I'll tell you why.
YouTube,
I'll tell you why.
Promoted listings.
I'll tell you why it's controversial because a different opinion is dangerous, and that's what they've said. It's dangerous to the idea that it's like the hive think. Everyone wants to be right. It's all about being right and having the right answer. A lot of times they don't even have an answer to the problem, but if you don't think the way they do, you're the one that's you're the villain.
But the one thing I can tell you is this: I'm old enough to know, and I've studied enough of history and all these things. The person who was telling you that and trying to control your thought and trying to control you and do that is never the person that's ever in the right. Yeah. Look at you can go back as far as you want in history. Let's start at the American Revolution. They were trying to tell you, the colonists, about the 3% tax on tea and how they owed it to the crown, all their, and they should do it because they're loyal subjects and they shouldn't have an opinion and on and on and on. That person is always the one. I mean, look at the current party in power who was telling you that they should arrest the former president and on and on and on because he presents he presents a danger as they are fighting wars in Ukraine and everywhere else. He never started one. I mean, take your opinion however you want to of him, but look at the party in power who was always telling you. It goes both ways. I mean, it's in everything you do. The person that's trying to control another person is never the person that's looking out for your best interest. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
But the platforms you have no control over. They're looking out for. See, people think eBay has some kind of responsibility to sell their stuff when the platform has a responsibility to the shareholders.
Yes, exactly.
That's it. The board of and no matter how long you've been there, no matter how many listens you've got, and I've never understood that. It's been a problem since I started full time in 2013. Everybody brags, ha ha ha! I've got 3,000 listens, ha ha ha! 5,000 listens, ha ha! That means you've got a lot of shit that doesn't sell. To me, I want zero. I want to wake up in the morning knowing I've got a list because there's nothing there because I sold it all.
Yes. I mean, I hovered around between 200 and 250 items all year. We'll be right at 130,000 in sales for the year, and I start to panic inside when my store starts to build up. If I get close to 300, I start to wonder what's going on. Thankfully, the year went so well, I didn't have that going on. But that's my mindset. Is some people be proud, my store, besides my store is building up. I'm kind of inside going, well, I'm outpacing my sales. That's not good.
I mean, if you sell stamps, if you sell posters, I get Josh. Josh has got a big store because he sells things that don't sell as fast. And I understand that. But most people don't. Most people do come in to resell and see people bragging about the size of their store and can't understand. And they're made to feel guilty that their stores are smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one that's noticed that. They look down upon someone because
all I want to see is how much you sold, how many items did you sell last year, and how much money did you make. And if because the size of your store doesn't matter because it's just a dumb measuring tool.
And that's not to say it's a bad thing to have a big store, but if you're building a big store and you're not getting the sales that you want, well, there's something wrong there. I mean,
but why is it not a bad thing? Like, seriously, like what would you think? I mean, you're a nice guy. Are you just being nice, John? Or do you have a logical, I don't think that a big store is bad because of this. Like, I think it's bad. Like when I see somebody with 40,000 items listed, I'm like, if you ain't if you're doing it, I
can give you the difference. I can give you the difference. We've mentioned Dusty in the past. Dusty would run a store because he sold a firma, however you want to say it.
Yeah, but that's different. Yeah.
Last year he was alive. He got into postcards, and he went from 7,000 or 8,000 up into the mid-20s, and it was so many postcards.
You can do that on 4 shelves. Like your whole house isn't overtaken by 50,000 eBay listings, and you're living in the middle of your business because it's just all around you.
There's not a bad model if you understand your model and work your model, however platform is moving. There's not bad models. It's so many people want to argue with and think their way is the right way, including that eBay must comply to them. They are so conceited that eBay must comply to them.
Yeah.
And they are
good luck with that. Yeah.
It's been I haven't had a sale since 3:30 on eBay. So evidently the eBay has turned my servers off, and I haven't had a sale in 5 hours.
Hey, your server's down.
My servers are on. I'm at $600 today. I did almost 4,000 this week. So,
well, to answer your question, John, though, as far as having a large store being a bad thing, it's all on the person running the store. If they're happy with the amount, and I talk about this all the time, doesn't matter what you promote at, doesn't matter all these things, how big your store is. It matters at the end of the day, how much money are you making? How much money is eBay depositing into your bank account? If you are satisfied with that, then none of this other stuff matters. Can you do better with a smaller store? Quite possibly, but it all depends on the individual seller and what they're happy with. And it's not for me to say that someone with a huge store is bad for having a huge store, but if you're up here complaining and whining and about your situation and you ain't willing to change it, and you're not happy with the outcome of that, let's say a large store, if that's particularly the problem, well, that's on you, and yeah, it's a bad thing, so every big stores can make money and small ones can too.
I want to be a streamlined store. I want stuff flying off the shelves with a velocity. I don't want to just because I think that people I used to be that guy. I was like, oh man, I'd brag. Oh, I've got, 4,000 items listed. But in reality, my whole store was just a total mess. I had hundreds of items that weren't listed. I couldn't find stuff. And I want to buy stuff that's going to sell. And now I do have some long-term items. I just sold an item today that I had listed for 2 years. But I'm not disagreeing with you. I just wanted your input.
Yeah,
but I don't think that unless you're running like you have a business, like you're running a manufacturing company or you have a warehouse and you have people working for you, then I could see, Mr. Buys a lot. That's a guy that but even when you, and nothing against him, I like him, but even when you look at his store, there's pages that are ripped out of books that he's listed. And I'm like, but why? You have so much good stuff that you liquidate out to people, right? That you list, but instead you've listed sheet music. And, I used to be that guy. And I'm like, that's just no way to run a business. Just it's quality over quantity. That's my opinion. That's what
look at the real world versus the online world. Walmart and antique stores can operate in the same block. They each have different sell-through models. They each have different speed of sales models. And so why do we think that every store online has to be the same? And that's the craziness that people get. And they think, is Walmart or the local mom and pop 5 and dime any better than the antique store? They just sell different stuff. They have different models and
the thing is with antiques is there's no such thing as high STR with antiques. You're always waiting for your buyer. Everything will sell, but you're always waiting for your buyer. You see it in antique malls, you see it online. You're waiting for your buyer to show up. So, I mean, if you have 100 a day listing habit, you know, you're selling maybe 10 a day, you're going to grow pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
hard game.
The big reason, John, though, is why there's shame on, well, you know, your store is only, you know, a couple hundred items. It's because many channels for many years would say, how many items did you list today? Did you list your 100 items today? Yeah. You're not doing it right, you know, and it shouldn't be about that. Yeah. I've always looked at it as how much value, how much money are you putting into your store? I think that's ignored.
That was the mantra on here for a long time, that don't set money goals, set activity goals. List 50 a day, list 100 a day, and they're all keeping each other accountable, but they were all listing garbage. And I think that really kind of radiated throughout the community, whereas the old school people are like, no, put quality up. I was even guilty of putting junk in my store. I was like, look at how much I can list. And now that I'm doubling back over my inventory, like, what the hell is this doing in here? Why is this even listed? This is recycling, you know? Right. So,
yeah.
I've listed a lot of bad stuff over the years, and it's something that I want to do in 2024. I want my store to be around 2,000 good items. And this past to do this, we did like $118,000 in sales on our main account and sold 2,735 items. And then on my wife's account, she did like 18,000, almost 19,000, and sold 500 items. And her account is more indicative of what I want. She just lists, I supply her with stuff, or she goes out and finds stuff, and she just lists really good stuff with high sell-through rates. And that's, to me, is the thing, is the velocity, because I want that money. I don't want to be a library. Yeah. I want to sell stuff and I don't want to hold stuff. I don't know.
People confuse eBay and Amazon. See, Amazon really cares about sell-through, and they really want items. If it's going to be FBA, they expect it to be gone in 90 days. Where eBay is not in that game. So to actually think that eBay is trying to destroy your store because they're messing with search algorithms. I mean, how conceited do you have to be to think that eBay knows who you are? eBay doesn't.
Right. If they do know who you are, it's probably not a good thing.
I've got a video with 3 million views on a Walmart in the title, and Walmart doesn't have a clue who I am.
I've had Walmart comment on my videos before. I know you've had to have.
Oh, yeah, they have too.
Yeah, I know they've commented. So, like, their social media guys like commented on your stuff, so they know who you are.
But it's society has gone so wrong, and there needs to be a great awakening of the way we treat people.
The internet is the greatest thing that's ever been invented, but it's the worst.
And the worst.
But I would say that eBay might not know who you are, but they do reward you when you bring traffic. Like, I don't list much. eBay is my secondary, honestly. And I had an item that was super in demand, and I was getting, I think 200 views a day. And I was selling them. And because of that, I noticed that, wow, sales are up, not just that item.
That's interesting.
So, you are rewarded for bringing traffic. So the higher quality listings will help your other listings.
There's been some people that we've had some talks behind the scenes talking about listing garbage is actually lowering your views, because think about it. If you think about eBay the way you think about we're all content creators making YouTube videos. If you make crappy YouTube videos, you don't get as much traffic. If you're listing shit, you're not getting as much traffic on eBay. And I firmly believe that. And since I've stopped doing that, my traffic and my money, so quit just listing junk, find quality stuff, be a quality reseller, and like, you're going to get way more traffic. That's interesting. It's really neat to hear someone else say it.
People confuse the fact that something doesn't sell very fast with being junk. Just because something doesn't sell, there can be things that don't sell very fast that aren't junk, and things that don't sell very fast that are junk.
I agree with you 100%, but I'm not gonna list a $5 item and let it set in my store for 3 years, but I'm gonna list something. Say if this sells for $400 or $500, I had a violin that sold last month and it's set in my store for 2 years, but it sold for $1,300. So yeah, you had to wait for the right person to come along to buy that quality item, but you're not just listing, here's a great example, remote controls. Everyone's like listing tens of thousands of remote controls and they've drove the price down on them. But like, why? Don't sell that stuff.
I think you guys are saying the same thing. So what Beard is saying is that unique items, like where it's like a one-off, it could sit for a long time. Right, it doesn't mean it's junk. And you're saying, which is the same, the other side of the same coin is you're talking about people who are going to the flea market, getting a huge thing of buttons, putting them all up for $20 a piece, and they just don't move. Right. I mean, it's flooding eBay, it's flooding their servers. That costs them to spend more money, which in turn they need to find, I'm all for eBay. If eBay would say, if this item's been listed for 6 months, we're deleting it, you better go find it and relist it. Like if your stuff is setting for a year, maybe you need to go revisit it. I think the worst thing eBay ever did was do continuously relisting items over and over and over again. That was the dumbest thing. That might be happening anyway. I mean, they wouldn't even have to delete it off their servers. That could just affect their selling metric, pull them down in the ranking, and now their stuff is on page 8 all the time instead of page 1. Right, so it could be happening anyway. Agreed. Great point.
But this is the kind of dialogue, everybody here sells different things. Dave sells a lot of things that sells a touch slower on Amazon, but you can see a lot of it's behind him. He doesn't send it all in because Amazon, they don't want it clogging their warehouses, but they don't mind if you list a merchant fulfilled.
Right. And because with Amazon, they'll make you pay for the space, Maybe that's what eBay should do. If your item's on there for over a year, you got to pay more in fees for it.
They could do that with like categories, knowing that an antique category sells slower, so maybe that cost is less. But I can tell you the number one thing it's not promoted listings. It's not like the number one reasons why most people's items don't sell is price. You have priced it wrong. I've talked about this a lot. People they don't know how to price. You look at an item and go, man, these headphones right here, somebody got $130 for them, and there's only 3 pairs left online right now, so I should be able to get $150. It doesn't make these $150 headphones.
No. Right. And the thing, and price,
it could have been a one-off.
And prices were crazy during COVID. Everybody got that COVID dollar. And it artificially, so if you're looking on Terapeak, someone said today that they don't use Terapeak. I can't remember what live it was, but I use it, but I have to constantly remember in my head that these pliers sold back in COVID times for way more because people were getting that government money and now it's all gone. So now I got to be more realistic with my prices if I'm looking at information from 3 years ago on how to price my items. But you're right. A lot of stuff. And go back. If you listed a lot of stuff when that money was flowing, go back and reevaluate those items. That's what I'm doing in January. Next month is reevaluating all my prices so that I can bring stuff down because, some of my stuff's overpriced. And I have been doing that. I think it was Josh or somebody said something about running. Maybe it was J-Ride or somebody said something about running a 30% off sale in your store. And if you start selling, your prices were too high. And I ran 30% off in certain categories and bam, money just like money go burr, the money starts.
That was J-Ride this morning.
But here's the big problem. Here's the big problem, John. And it boils down to the number one factor in success in reselling. And that is the buy. If you're buying too high, then you will not be able to take offers that maybe you'll think are low ball because it eliminates most of your profit. But if you're into that item really low, you can accept. I do that all the time. I have something listed for what the market may recently show being like a $75 item, and I'm into the item for $5. Someone comes at me for 40 or $50. Now I got to consider: do I wait for 75? Do I take it and take that money and flip it? So it's, or do I come back and counter? And I determine a lot of things, but that same item for someone else, if they're into it for $15, there's no way they're taking it for 50. They're going to say no every time, and they're not going to get the sale, and they're going to wonder why they can't sell their stuff. I look at my report. The report that I look at shows how many items you take offers on, and I take a lot of offers, take that money and flip it, and I could flip that money 3 times before that item sells for someone else at full price.
I struggle because I suck at sourcing. Like I don't like trying to like talk people down on their stuff, and I hate talking on the phone. So like I'm just a weird individual. But like I think there's some people out there that understand what I'm trying to say. But like I'll try to hold on to this stuff, and I had the thing that was the hardest to do is just don't take it personal, John. If somebody tries to lowball you on eBay, don't get mad, you know. But if I could source better, man, living in the heart of Las Vegas, you've got to find all kinds of amazing stuff.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff out here.
All right, so Josh wants me to talk for the next 30 minutes. So Lisa K, Upside Down Flags, a nation in distress. I truly believe that the United States of America has been taken over by a uniparty. Both parties are just as evil as the other one, and we have been taken over by a class of politicians that could give a shit or less about this country, they could care less about you. And until the people take the government back, you're going to get what you get. You're going to get COVID. You're going to get people telling you that take your freedoms away. They're going to take your businesses away. They're going to take everything away from you until the rule of. If you go back and look at the Constitution of the United States, all these. Taxation is illegal. They had to put in the income tax as a. Remember, they told you that the income tax was against the rich, and it was only going to go, and it was never going to do this. And now, 100 years later, or whatever, 80 years later, we are now paying 37%, 38%. Look at the taxes you pay in fees. Remember, they can't tax you; is illegal. But if they charge you a fee for your business, it is not a tax; it is a fee. And you are paying close to 65% of your money that you earn to the government in one form or another.
Yep.
So that was not 30 minutes. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
That's all I want to say. Just leave me the hell alone.
So but it's so amazing that there's no right or wrong in business. Because you just have to look around and look how many business models are out there. You know, business models are like fads; they come and go, but they all still work if they're managed correctly. If you make the right decisions, if you're paying attention, if you learn, if you do the things that are in the best interest. But we get so self-absorbed. I mean, how hard did Sears go fighting into the night? They were so desperate they bought Kmart, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody wants to go. Well, eBay is going to be the Sears. No, eBay is positioned cash very well. You are the fucking Sears. as you fight against everything, you are Sears. And I'm just being honest with people. I mean, these people beat Josh Galt down to death. It was early November, late November when I first started listening to Josh. Josh was like, guys, listen, I'm going back and looking over all my listings. The prices are terrible. He said, part of the reason why I'm not selling is because the prices from 3 years ago, 2 years ago are not there. He started telling people that. But you know what people heard? Josh Galt promotes. Oh my God, he's the devil. He promotes. They didn't hear the fact that I'm not lying. Am I lying, Josh?
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm not lying. How many times? There was like 5 or 6 shows in a row you would talk about, man, I'm getting some sales, but the things that are selling are the listings that I went and fixed because the prices were wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
You said that over and over. My prices were wrong. And what did they hear? It must be that damn dynamic cap.
Yep.
I mean, I'm being funny for a reason, but it's the truth.
But here's the problem, Beard. You could say this on every live, and you're going to get the same people that are going to ignore it because they don't think it applies to them.
I mean, can have disagreements. You can even have personal disagreements. But at the end of the day, you make a decision about yourself. You know, I use the YouTube a lot for me as accountability. You know, profit first. I'm in the 3rd chapter right now. I'll get the 4th chapter, or maybe the 5th tomorrow. I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I really need to read some books. I need to expand my business knowledge and my thinking. So how can I hold myself accountable? I need an accountability partner. How about everybody in the chat? Let's all read the same book. Wonderful. We got Trina in the chat goes, man, I've really read that book. I'd like to help you with that. Folks, I have never met her in person. I think she lives here in Alabama. She's gonna help. She's gonna help that whatever night we do it on. John has read the book twice already. Not either one of these Johns. Big John,
Grumpy
John, who, folks, do you realize he gives of his time? He's damn near $5 million seller on Amazon, hanging out with me. Whether you like his delivery or not, he is grumpy and he is rough on the edges, but he is self-taught, and I have seen the way his mind has changed. He consumes 3 to 4 business books a month, and it has really made him sharp. I mean, exceptionally sharp by exposing himself to the thoughts of others. He'll tell you, I don't agree with all of it, but I agree with some of it, and imagine that you can be exposed to information and decide what you think is important.
Yep.
I use promote listings, whether you do or not. I'm just telling you what I do. It doesn't make it right or wrong.
Hey, Scott, what does this flag mean? That's the no quarter given flag, all black American flag. No prisoners taken.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, look it up. It's pretty. I flew it out in front of my building for a while until my wife told me I probably shouldn't do that.
Grumpy John is authentic, man. I'm telling you right now, John could be on a cruise, and I don't know when he's going on his next one. I mean, she's scheduled like a cruise a month. I mean, it's just crazy. And y'all don't realize, when I met them, they were splitting dollar menu items at McDonald's. They were scraping and carrying on. I'll never forget the day I stopped at John's house, and we spent about 8 hours together. I'm sitting there thinking, John has got a little 2-door Infiniti hardtop convertible. I'm just waiting for the chance to see him get in that damn thing. He's taking care of his health. He's lost a lot of weight. He's very successful in business. And so he's going to help with the book. He's excited. He's read it twice. He's told me, I've read it twice, but I'm ready. You're not gonna flake out on me. I'm like, no, John, we're doing the book. He's like, my cruise is like on the 14th. I'm like, we'll do it on the 8th of the night. Surround yourself with people that care. They don't have to have the same opinion. I'm telling you right now, when I met John, I was the bigger seller. I met John in 2015. I kicked his ass. But he always had this bigger vision of taking care of family, and his brother runs his business. If you don't know it, his brother-in-law is his accountant at a big accounting firm. A lot of his family works for him. His mom gets a check every month. I never had that kind of vision. I had employees. I'd been management.
Yeah, you got derailed a little bit though, right? You got derailed there, and that happens to people too, where like something happens in their life and they get derailed a little bit, and there's nothing you can really do about that.
I never wanted employees though. I never wanted to be that big. I enjoy the lifestyle of reselling. I enjoy the people of reselling. I like my freedom. I don't want to have a job, so I created myself a job, whether I wanted a job or not. I don't have a boss. Well, she's asleep right now, but
yeah, I like John, but I would not want his headaches for all his money. He can keep them.
John's a good guy. He's misunderstood. I have had people message me and say, when we first were on the show 4 years ago, oh, I said, no, he's just kidding. He's bantering. Let me tell you, if you have something going on, he's one of the first people to reach out. I called him like 2 years ago. He wasn't around for a while. I called him on his birthday. And when it first was announced that I had cancer, and I'm not going to say too much, he reached out to me that day. He's like, Pat, can I do something for you? And he did something, which I'm not going to say because he'd get mad at me, but he's got a big heart.
So your book 0 to 1 is on the list. I've got it. I don't know where it is on the list. I've got like 18 books now. People have been suggesting. So I don't update my website a lot, beardypicker.com, but the book list is on beardypicker.com. Profit First is first. Let me open it up. I'll tell you what the first books are.
No, I'm gonna fire it up on Audible though.
Yeah, I had to get Audible. I keep falling. I'm an old man. I fall asleep in a recliner. He actually reads the book on Audible. He's Mike McCalskey's his name. The second book is Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss. Then Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Fourth book is Blue Ocean Strategy by Chan Kim. Atomic Habits by James Clear. And then this one was mentioned in John's chat today, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So if you still don't have any friends or influence anybody, that's what the lady said. That was a great comment. She's like, I read that for Amway. And I still don't have any friends. I don't have any influence.
Yep.
But I'll be putting the list there.
I put it on.
The Peter Thiel is on the list. I think it's like number 8 or 9. It's coming up. But my plan, a minimum of 12 next year. So I encourage you to read along. I signed up for Audible through the 31st. Audible has a great deal. If you Google it, it's $5.95 a month for the first 4 months. There's no contract or anything, and then it goes to full $14.95 after that. So you get a credit a month. So this first book was $4.95, so it's pretty cheap. I mean, if you're going to buy one book a month, I mean, it's not too much to put $20 a month or $15 a month in your education. It's free to start.
One of the interesting points that Peter Thiel makes in 0 to 1, that book that you just brought up, is that people who are typically optimists do better in business because they see opportunities and they're constantly looking for opportunities. Whereas pessimists will always look at opportunities as, it's going to screw them over, or it sucks, or it's not going to work out. And the more of those kind of risks that you take, not outsized risks, but more chances, the more opportunities you have to grow and become successful. So I really took a lot from that, staying optimistic. And it kind of goes into what you guys were talking about earlier about staying optimistic. It's easy to be a pessimist. It's really easy. But the harder thing is when it's hard like this, and it's hard right now, to be positive. What do you all think about that?
My other theory too about why people are struggling right now is there are a lot of people who started this business, and I don't know if I got any pushback. People just kind of nod their head. They started when reselling was, you were at home, you didn't have anything to do. COVID and all the pandemic was out, and people started reselling. They saw videos and how easy everything sold, and so you never learned the nuts and bolts. You never learned how the valuation of an item, how to buy correctly, because you could go to any. If you could, anything you could buy, you could sell, and now you have to really a lot more. You have to analyze. I mean, even Amazon's become so much more difficult because you have to analyze. Is it a good product for Amazon, and should I keep it or should they sell it? Should they list? I mean, it has gotten so complicated, and with all the tools you have, the more tools, the more complicated it gets. Everybody goes, "Oh, just cross list." Putting bad items on another platform that you don't know and bad items on a second platform doesn't mean they're going to sell.
Right.
I'm telling you,
it's about self-control. Self-control.
If you're going to cross list, you need to take the time to learn that platform. The hardest thing you'll ever do is double the platforms. John has been very smart. I mean, Josh has been very smart. Everybody said, "Oh, you'd be better at eBay, Josh. You'd be better at eBay. And Josh, you'd be better at Amazon." And he's like, "I like eBay. I'm good. I'm telling you, I do eBay and Amazon. It is, if I'm doing good at eBay, my Amazon sucks. If I'm doing good at Amazon, eBay sucks. It's very difficult to be very good at two platforms. I promise you."
Yep.
I think that if you're growing on a platform and you're growing well, why would you want to divert your attention away from that? Like if I'm on eBay and things are going well and my store is growing year after year after year, why would I want to say, okay, this is working really, really well. Why don't I do it a little bit less and then spend some more time on something that I don't know or don't understand and affect my growth? That's kind of my mindset with that. So, but if it turns and things slow down or I get in a position where I can't grow anymore, then maybe I'll start branching out. Although Amazon is really, Scott, it really is enticing. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
you can do both.
You can do both. And for me, I run across stuff that'll do really good on eBay. I run across, I had an auction. I got a pile of, commercial electronics. And I'm like, I'm not going to pass that up, because I made a lot off of that. And I'm like, list them, be done, wait for them to sell, and I sold everything within 2 to 3 months. It wasn't a long hold. And it just, once they were listed, out of sight, out of mind, and just ship them as they go. But, just be open to, I don't focus over there, but I still actively sell over there. I've got 50 sold in the last 90 days. It still moves.
Yep.
So it says, Andy asks, what are those ready to ship and sold as set? Do not separate stickers for? They're that's Amazon. So it's the way you send in FBA products. If the stickers on FBA products tell them what to do and what not to do with the stickers. Because if you've got a 2-pack, you've got to put a sticker on that says don't separate, because you've got to treat Amazon. Yeah. You've got to treat an Amazon employee like they're kindergartner.
Yeah.
Well, Beard, we're gonna head out. We got our dinners coming. We did the Uber Eats thing, and they're here. So,
did you get hot wings?
Close, but close.
He tried.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you got chicken nuggets for adults.
It's close.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go on Tuesday night, and they'll say, I'll take 15 hot wings. They'll go, boneless. I'm like, have you ever seen a boneless chicken? Chicken nuggets for adults. And finally, a couple weeks ago, the little young girl comes up. She looks at him. She goes, I know better than to ask you whether you want boneless or not.
But we'll be listening in. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good day,
John, Jenna.
Right. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your chicken nuggies.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
He tried. She said no fucking way.
There's so much to this business that we over. That's the one thing that YouTubers have a tendency to do is oversimplify because of the complexity. I try to talk about it like everybody goes, the general public would just say, just list it on eBay. Like it's some flippant little idea of just list an item on, where you have to be the CEO of your business. You have to be the shipper, the sourcer, the advertiser. I mean, you wear so many hats in this business, and it's give yourself credits for being small business owners. You are entrepreneurs. You're out here blazing a way for yourself. But the hardest thing you can do is if you surround yourself with negative and the wrong people, you multiply your difficulty level by exponentially.
A lot of the resellers, I was just thinking this while you're talking, Beard, that are on YouTube between the ages of around, I want to say 30 to 40. I've noticed a lot of them have dropped off, and I have a theory that their costs have gone up a lot because they're in that stage where they maybe have young kids and they have mortgages and everything else, and the interest rates and inflation and everything has gone up. So even if their sales have gone up, say 10% year over year, they're still feeling the burn hard. I've seen a lot of the channels that I've followed and a lot of the eBay sellers that I've followed on eBay, they're gone now. I see a lot of them are gone, and I wonder if that also has something to do with it.
I think it has something to do with the fact that they didn't make $1 million on YouTube, and a lot of those channels disappear because this is a labor of love for me.
Some many people see Harry Tornado and the success somebody like he has had, and they don't know. I subscribed to him when he had like 5,000 subs. I remember Josh when Josh was carrying on and Haley was still working. People see the finished product and how successful they are, and don't realize how hard they work to get there where they are. They just think, oh, I can be nice like them on and find a few things to show, and I'm gonna be successful. But they missed the part where Josh worked for several years to build and build and build that to where they are.
And he's smart. He just
he's very smart.
It's not. He didn't get where he's at by accident. You know,
and he trailblazed. He was doing the GoPro thing, and that like he was kind of early on. But now you have hundreds of channels doing the exact same thing. It doesn't have the same impact, especially now that the pandemic's over. In my opinion,
yeah,
you got to do something different.
I wonder who wore a camera to the yard sales first.
I wore mine to the estate sale today.
There you go.
I had a Go. My first one was a GoPro 5 that I was wearing to yard sales back whenever that came out.
Dusty must have been pretty early with it too, because he was documenting all. He had so much content on YouTube. What happened to all that YouTube content? It's all gone now.
Deleted.
The kids deleted it because whenever they passed, they were anti-vaxxers, and
you talk about
when they died of it, they came for them, and so
yeah.
You talk
the easiest
about
thing to do was just
hate. That
was brutal. Yeah,
that was way worse than what you and John just got.
Way worse. Yeah, that was brutal.
You can't imagine the what came for them, and
yeah.
I mean, because we would have dinner. So we were in a little bit of a tiff like the last month they were alive. So we didn't see them for the last month, but until then, for like 3 years, we'd gone out to dinner as couples once a week, and we had talked openly about never ever will we ever take any of that stuff. But they flew to Texas because their son had met somebody on the internet, and they didn't want him to go by himself because they were homeschooled, and they were wanting to be overly cautious. He'd never really been anywhere by himself.
Yeah,
and they caught it while they were out there or coming back. They were you never knew them, but they were just salsa Dios people. They were just.
No, I never knew them. I just watched their videos. I thought it was funny. I mentioned this to you earlier when him and Tristan would be like fighting back and forth in the car. I thought that was pretty entertaining. But his son was kind of into it too. Did he take over the store, or what happened there with that?
He went to school. He decided he wanted to go to school. So, but that's the way. I mean, we would carry on like that. It was the four of us would be somewhere, and it would just be back and forth carried on. I mean, it was either me and Dusty against them, or they gang up on one of us. I mean, it would just be insane. I mean, they were such fun. I mean, we can't believe they've been gone this long, man. I mean, it's such. Yeah. It's you just never know. Life is so short. And she had fought so hard because she was a survivor of childhood cancer, and so she had a lot of health issues. That's where a lot of me and Dusty bonded, because we both have we would plan to go do something, and one of the wives wouldn't feel good, so we'd have to reschedule. And one of the people that truly understood, because he had a wife who had as many health issues as my wife did, so he had a nice porch on the house that he rented. We spent hours out there on the porch talking. How old was Dusty? I think he was 47. Tristan was 43 or 44.
I remember when I figured out you could make his videos go faster if you sped him up like a quarter speed. He didn't sound as country, and it wasn't as drawn out. You could get through him a little easier.
He did have some long videos.
Yeah, just quarter speed.
Yeah, but he told a lot of stories about his dad. He learned a lot of stuff from his. Not everybody has that mentor or the dad who his dad was a serial entrepreneur, owned grocery stores, and then 20 years UPS stores. His dad passed away about 4 months after he did, so that family went through a lot.
And he had a lot, Dusty was a hard worker, and he struggled a lot because he had his one. They had to help out his brother quite a bit, and he was always there for people, though. I mean,
He was Alabama picker. John is Cincinnati picker.
Yeah.
John is still around. He didn't make as many videos. He just became a realtor in Cincinnati. I have no doubt he'll be successful. John's a really nice guy.
Oh, good.
I've met John like 8 or 9 times in person. Truly, genuinely nice person.
John, Cincinnati picker.
Yeah, John Cincinnati picker.
He became a real estate agent. That's cool.
Yeah, he's a real estate agent. Yeah,
good for him.
Didn't he buy a house or rent a house that belonged to a real estate agent? And he kind of like kicked him out of there to start his reselling business, and now
I think
he's getting into real estate. Interesting. I didn't know that either.
And his wife, they are. I mean, they're truly a fascinating couple. Him and his wife. Lucky to talk to them when we were in Cincinnati. They are big with adoption, so they're a foster family, and she's got a big YouTube channel. Is it We Are the Family? We are. About fostering foster children, and when we were there, she had just gotten her plaque over 100,000.
Sweet.
Yeah, a good family. Lance says, "Who remembers Global Voodoo?" I still want to meet Mike. Mike's an interesting cat.
Yeah. He is interesting. Back in the day, whenever he'd go live, he'd kick a few back and he'd go live, and woo, he's a good guy though. He's on. I've bought stuff from him on Whatnot.
Just personal disagreements, Operation Liquidation. I know it happened, but I'm not going to really say it. Just sometimes there's just misunderstandings, and then misunderstandings get blown up. It was pretty cool. And did you watch all of Josh's? Evidently, he and Archie have had some talks, and so it's nice to see Archie back because they live in the same town. John and Archie are good friends, so it's nice to see they prepare.
Yeah, I like Archie. He's funny, man. That video that he put out about Kevin, everybody needs to go look at that. But Biscuit Butt, look him up. That video was hilarious.
But it was just a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion. The Operation Liquidation. It's just. It's a shame. It's a shame, but another one of those, you can't have differences of opinion. You can't have different viewpoints. It's just the way the world is now. If you see, if I see red, somebody else sees blue. We're both evil because it was green. It sucks at this time, man. Because just think about it. If everybody in your life that you had to 100% agree with them or you had to hate them, you'd be by yourself. You would truly be by yourself. Hey Shane, what's up, man? Because there's never anybody you don't 100% agree with. I can promise you that. But it's John had a really good show tonight. It was really about setting yourself up for 2024. Brushing off all negativity and focus. Because the one thing I can promise you about 2024, if you thought 2023 was difficult, you better hold on. 2024 is going to be just as many changes, just as many obstacles, and you're going to really need to be the best version of you to get there. I truly believe that, because you're going to see the effects of inflation by the end of the year. You're going to see a financial market go up and down. They're going to put smoke and mirrors up because it's an election year. They're going to fight and carry on with politics and try to distract you as they do everything. I mean,
even if inflation slows down or comes down, as they say, prices are not going back to the way they were. No. I think even if oil comes down, which it has, I don't think it's coming back down. And I don't know. I noticed that in Canada, like, you think it's bad in the US. I have the opportunity to go to both sides of the border. Canada's like on fire with inflation still. It's completely out of control. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty optimistic for 2024. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good year for business. 2023 was hard. If you did really well in 2023, you're off to the races, I think.
But I think there's still going to be a shakeout. I think 2024 is going to still be another one of those years where if you're not good at it and you're not paying attention,
Yeah.
It's another one of those with the weaker sellers, the people who are not paying attention slowly fade away, I think.
Yeah. Well, and they, you already see it now with a lot of them. And I'm not throwing daggers at anyone, but there are a lot of people that they just can't afford to buy inventory anymore. They're like right at their limit on almost everything. You see it in the comment section. And unfortunately, I don't know how much longer those kind of sellers can keep going. It's hard. Like you said, this is a tough business. It's not easy.
What do you think about all the stores that are going to be shutting down, Scott? Have you thought about getting back into some liquidation buyouts and don't want to talk about it?
There's definitely going to be opportunity. I don't know.
Bed Bath and Beyond is supposed to be shutting down like a ton of stores. They were, I mean, there's a whole list of them there.
See, all ours are gone, and I've kind of switched to more of the eBay model just because I see the time is short, and I don't want to. When you have a wife that's had the health issues I have, you don't want to go anywhere. So I'm trying to devise everything I do to be within a couple hours of the house. So I'll continue to invest more into eBay, and then I want to build more of a wholesale model on Amazon. So I'm trying to work the schedule out and how that works so that I can do wholesale a couple weeks on Amazon and do, a couple days sourcing on eBay Friday, Saturday, and then the listing a few other days. Then that's my real struggle is the time management. And so I'm trying to figure out and put myself on a schedule how to hold myself accountable to time management. If you're not honest with yourself and realize what your weaknesses are, resolutions is a fine time of the year to really look back over 2023. What could you have done better? Where do you want to see yourself going? And what processes? John would be proud because he was getting on me the other day. He's like, did I just hear you say processes and procedures? Because he's been beating me over the head for a long time about old man grumpy about, man, you need better procedures. You need something. And that's been my weakness for a long time. So
it stays on you. That's for sure.
I think the more I can refine what I do and myself, the rest of it takes care of itself. I don't worry about the abilities to find inventory or all that stuff. All that stuff's easy.
You know what I'd really like to see? Sorry to interrupt, Scott.
No, you're good.
I'd really like to see people have the ability to buy your items on Google or Facebook or Twitter or whatever without having to create any sort of eBay account. Like all the payment, everything happens with Google Pay, whatever, super quick. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I wonder if eBay has something like that in the works, like a very quick payment just through their servers or their processing system. I think it would drive a lot of traffic to eBay. It is a question, and I know I'm derailing the whole conversation here. It is something I'm concerned about moving forward, is the amount of traffic on eBay, because at the end of the day, we're all fighting for a shrinking pie, and that doesn't mean you can't do well on eBay. You can, but the pie is definitely shrinking. I wonder what they have in the works to kind of make that pie a little bit bigger for all of us, if anything. What do you guys think?
All that concerned about it.
What's that?
Dominate the pie.
They don't seem all that concerned about it.
They don't seem. No, they don't seem. Their priorities seem elsewhere for sure. I think they. Go ahead, Todd.
I won't worry as much about eBay until the third quarter.
Keep the investors happy is what I see.
Yeah.
I think the third quarter is really when we find out the true health of eBay, because that will be the first year-over-year rollover of the great increase in promoted listings. The way the third and fourth quarter numbers come out against last year, I think you don't truly know how bad it is, because right now it's all being covered up by the increase, and they're getting more money out of the sellers, and so but that runs year over year in April. So what happens?
I'm saying all this because eBay is not going to die. There's hundreds of billions of dollars worth of products on eBay, and I mean, it's just for someone smarter than me, it's a massive opportunity. All these items, they see a decreasing amount of traffic, but for someone out there who's smarter and is better capitalized, if they can bring this stuff to the market that wants it, like Google and Meta and X and all these platforms, they can make a killing. It's going to happen at some point, I think. So I don't think eBay is going to die. I think I'm really optimistic about it, but
You want to hear a little eBay success story?
yes.
2023, my eBay, after fees, after federal income tax, after everything, first time ever I'm going to make more on eBay than my teacher retirement check.
Nice. Congrats. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Not much. It's like,
see, my problem with eBay has been eBay wants to be Amazon and they can't be Amazon, but there's so many things that they can do that Amazon does that they miss the boat completely on. So what does Amazon do? Amazon sees an opportunity and they buy that damn company. Where eBay has the money. Are you back?
I'm here for the after party.
how was the Taco Bell? How was the Taco
We had a
Bell?
little Texas hot chicken. So
I've been waiting for eBay. Why didn't eBay buy Poshmark? Why didn't eBay buy Grailed? Why didn't eBay buy all these sites when they had the opportunity? Where Amazon wants to expand, they buy a company. They buy, and eBay's done that a little bit, but they do the wrong things. They buy an authentication company because I think one of the bigger problems with eBay is it's because it's a unique marketplace. You need unique leadership, and they've got leadership up there that's never been sellers. They don't understand how their marketplace works, and so they are just trying to operate it like it's a normal. And eBay doesn't function as Amazon, and the customers aren't the same as Amazon, but they're trying to squeeze the wrong way.
And Amazon's always focused on growth. So they're looking at like monopolizing everything they touch. They get into AWS, they get into this, they get into that. Now they're dominating shipping, everything. eBay never invested in their own growth. I think for the first time with the global shipping, they kind of did, but they have all these systems and processes, payment processors, this, that, the other thing. They're all processes within their own ecosystem, but they stopped, I think, focusing on growth. That happened a long time ago in like 2010 or something like that. And I was listening to a video. I'll send it to you, Scott, by email by someone named Peter Combs, super smart guy. But he was saying that as soon as eBay decided to stop investing in growth, they stopped growing. And now I think they're like, what do we do now? Because the other ones never stopped, specifically Amazon. Now Walmart wants to sell used items. So they're going to come up against eBay. Like eBay's got to start focusing on growth one way or another here. In my opinion, and I say that positively with a positive attitude.
I don't have a Walmart account, but I'm seriously considering just opening one to get one started because with them moving into used, I think that's a crazy game changer.
It's going to be a rough ride.
They got the money, though. They got the money.
Yeah, their website's tough.
Yeah, Operation Liquidation. I've been saying that for a long time. They don't focus on buyers. They focus on squeezing sellers, and that there's only so much blood you can get out of a turnip. It's. I mean, I realized that their fees were so cheap, so they've moved them up. But if you promote at the suggested rate and their standard fee, you're paying Amazon FBA prices. I mean, they are pricing themselves out of the market in a lot of things. If you listen to what they say.
But if someone comes in, and I know this is all wishful thinking, but if someone comes in and says, I have a better way of bringing eBay's items to market, basically getting them off the platform and sending them out to all these social media platforms, whatever, they're going to make billions of dollars, which to me means it's going to happen at some point. Something's going to happen here. It can't just keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and disappear. It's worth too much money.
I think the one to watch is X. There's something going to happen there because Elon didn't buy it he didn't buy it for free speech. He's really truly looking at the Chinese market and whatever the name of the Chinese platform is that dominates everything. I think he sees X as going that way, where all their money goes through it, they buy things through it. There's a social media. It's like whatever their combined platform is in the Chinese market. I forget the name of it, but there's going to be a social aspect to it that pushes a lot of these. Is it is it some way you can combine a Pinterest and a platform to a Pinterest and an X to where you now have a marketplace full of, you know what I mean? There's going to be some kind of hybrid that comes out that's gonna dominate for sure. Reselling Freedom says some Squishmallows sell for 70 to 25 on Amazon, 40 to 50 on Walmart. The problem is you don't know the sell. You can't. It's hard to compare platforms when you don't know the sales velocities. I don't know how many would sell on the Walmart versus. Dave, do you have any idea? Do they give you any kind of rank or anything on Walmart? Do you have any idea what sales velocity is on Walmart?
And so far, I can't even find a third-party tool that works well. I mean, there's no Keepa. There's none of the tools you have for Amazon. I mean, you can look at rank and kind of, get an idea of like the reviews and kind of base decisions off it. But Walmart's tough. I mean, it depends on what you're selling. If you're, it seems to be maybe toys or health and beauty and things like that sell pretty well. Other apartments, maybe not so much,
See, flipping with Amy, that's a great question. Does anybody sell on TikTok? TikTok, if you don't do TikTok, whether you're scared of the Chinese or whatever, I'm not. But there's been a tremendous change in the last 3 months on TikTok. When they opened TikTok store, TikTok went from a nice social media platform to every fourth or fifth TikTok is about there selling something. See, that might be the answer, Josh. Are you on TikTok at all?
No.
It has truly changed from a social marketplace to really selling lots of products. It's been an amazing transformation from what it was of just nurses dancing and everybody doing whatever to all of a sudden. I've been so irritated with it. I've been using Instagram. I'm like, I'm so tired of people trying to sell me stuff. It has gotten that much stuff is being moved on that platform.
Well, and my wife is on TikTok and I'm not at all. And she said she noticed the same exact thing. And then the other side of it too is the TikTok shop, they're pushing hard financially also. When the seller put stuff on sale, like one seller was like, they accidentally put my whole store on sale. Well, yes, but then TikTok was actually funding the difference for all the items that she didn't realize she was actually selling. And so, yeah, she was getting kickbacks significantly from TikTok. And the customer was paying a reduced price and she was getting full. So, yeah, they're investing heavy to try to move more.
eBay's got to find a way to get their products onto the YouTubes and the TikToks and all this stuff. They got to figure it out. That should be the discussion they have every single day. It shouldn't be promoted listings. It shouldn't be any of this stuff. I think it should be, how do we get more traffic to the site? And if the traffic's off-site, how do we get our stuff off-site? I think that should be like the number one conversation they should be having.
Yeah, because the TikTok thing is the amount of stuff they're moving and the prices. Because there's quite a few of these, electronics that use straight Amazon that I've seen on there, like some Eufy is a big one over there, and some of the other ones with the tracking tags and stuff. I mean, and the prices that they are selling this stuff at, I go and look up on Amazon. I'm go, damn, it's a good 20 or 30% lower than the Amazon price, and that's with Amazon as a seller, not a third party seller. The one thing you learn as an Amazon seller is you learn a true price of an item, and so I'm not fooled by a crazy price. But they are, I'm looking at prices and it's 20, 30% lower. I'm like, holy cow, and my wife, and she doesn't pay a lot about reselling, and she'll tell me, now I watched this whatever, and she makes, and they make these little whatever, and they've had to turn their stores off because they sold out, and it's. I think the velocity over there is pretty strong
on TikTok.
And I think that the pricing obviously helps. I mean, and if they're investing to take market share, it's going to work.
I mean, they've got the difference with them and eBay is they've got the audience of the younger market, where eBay has hardly any of that younger market.
But even like TikTok, for example, they have all the technology there. Someone does a dance or something in TikTok, say I do, and it gets 1 million views. You know, you can pick up the hat and just be like, would you like to buy this hat or similar hats to it, or whatever the outfit the person is wearing? All that technology is there, but eBay never invested in it.
Yeah.
And now those other platforms are taking advantage of it. They're getting the sales, and we're seeing still reduction in traffic.
I mean, imagine if on eBay or YouTube, if you could do a haul video, and then you list all your stuff before you do the haul video, and you were able to embed links into the video to where they could click on it and go straight to eBay, and then be able. That's genius, man.
Yeah, and this is another thing and I was reading about this. Google does not allow. You can't run a Google Ads account and link it back to eBay. You have to do it on the eBay platform, because eBay won't give you the permissions because it's technically their site. So we have like Shopify and Amazon, you can use Google Ad accounts and direct traffic to your Amazon store or direct traffic to your Shopify store. You cannot do that on eBay. That's another thing. Why not? Corey brought that up. Why can't you do that?
Because the one thing that's coming is so John and myself have been making a lot of shorts lately. And one of the options you have on the short video, which is not on a long video, is about selling a product. You know, are there any products being promoted in this where you could put your links and sell products through shorts that you don't have that option on long form, but you can't link eBay. You're right.
Yeah, you can't.
So it's going to force people to go, well, you know, what's stopping me from opening a Shopify store and selling your own merch? You know, people go, well, how would I drive traffic to my own Shopify store? Through YouTube Shorts. You'll be amazed what you can drive through, because people will trust Shopify. They're not just going to random old beautypicker.com. They're going to a Shopify store, and so there's some trust built in that they will buy. And
but if you ask someone who's like 22 or 23, what are the things that you like on eBay? Like, what are some interesting items? They're gonna say to you, "What's eBay?" You know, what is that?
You're right.
It's not an app they have on their phone. They don't even know what it is. They don't shop there. So for me, like that's really where eBay's got to get aggressive. I know, John, you bring this up all the time. Flipping ain't easy, John. They got to advertise more, but they got to embed themselves. They got to seriously kind of go for it here, because, Corey brought this up last week, and I agree with him. It's a concern if traffic is constantly declining. I would like to see them increase the traffic on the site or off the site one way or another. It's in my brain. That's why I keep saying it.
So Flippin' Goody says, use your Shopify for 2 years now. Has sold almost 25K direct on her site. And I really don't know. Doesn't do much to promote it. And see, people are worried about, they're talking in the chat, that people are worried, who goes down first, us or China. People don't understand the Chinese market. If you do some research and learning on China, China's got 20 years left. That's it, folks. They are one drought year away from going under as a country. They're the way their population is staggered. They are a truly aged population that's not replaced. And in 20 years, that they can't support the population. So in 20 years, the Chinese, China as we know it, will no longer be. When I'm Todd, the hands age up there, China will not be China. And so
all they need to do is affect the baby bonus, and their population will just blow up again. I think,
but that's going to take time. And the scary part behind all that is that China knows that they have their names written on the wall, and what are they going to do what are they going to do to project their power to make their dying move?
They don't have much debt either. That's another thing. They're very wealthy. Their technology is caught up to ours for the most part. I don't know. I think they're going to be. I think we're going to have to just deal with the fact that they're going to be pretty much as strong as what we are, or pretty close to it. And this is the new paradigm. This is how it is now. We got to rely on each other if that can ever happen.
Hey, what's this we? You're Canadian.
Yeah.
We protect them. You don't remember? We protect them.
I'm like with the little stick. Come on, guys.
Let me get my moose.
You guys on.
Let me get my moose.
I'll disappear into the woods and into the
I'm gonna
Arctic
go-
if things go bad.
I'm gonna go fight a polar bear out there. Don't you know?
Yeah, you're in Canada. Can you not find Bigfoot for us? Come on.
I will find Bigfoot for you.
He's not Canadian enough to where I could tell that he was Canadian, unless someone told me he was Canadian. I follow some people from Regina or whatever, and they sound Canadian. They're passing Canadian.
Newfoundland. Look up Newfie on YouTube, and you'll see some hilarious, crazy content. Even the rest of Canada can't really understand what they're talking about.
Right.
But I truly think that as what we know right now, in 3 to 4 years, resale is not going to look the same. I think we're at the beginning stages of a major overhaul of the direct to consumer market without these platforms. There's a reason why Amazon continues to invest outside of everything but selling products.
Yeah.
Amazon is trying. Vico or Vico, however you sound it, is their attempt to continue to consolidate the money that is spent on that platform to make them. It is already now the easiest platform to use. You can ship anybody. Everything integrates to Vico. If you haven't looked at Vico, they'll give you free inventory management for Amazon FBM. Brenda said if everybody should have their own website. I think the Shopify model, the direct to Shopify through a video, there's going to be so many different ways to sell this that's not apparent right now, but will come of age in the next couple of years that it's going to dramatically change how you buy things.
That's great. Harry Tornado, he'll do great in that model too. He already taken all my sales.
So I think there's so much room for everybody. I don't have any, and that's the thing people miss is because I said, everybody will say, but you're competing for limited dollars on eBay. I mean, we are, but in a way. I mean, the things I sold 2 video cameras today. Josh, you got any of those?
I have none. No.
I mean, so a person coming on there looking for video cameras. I'm not taking money away from Josh, and
yeah,
and the wonderful things he sells. So I mean, technically, they're right, but they're wrong, and so I don't have any. If someone else doesn't use Promoted and has a bigger store and sells great, man, more power to them. I wish them well. I hope they do well. I don't have any negative, and people can't understand that you can't. I want everybody to succeed. I don't have any ill feelings towards anyone. People go, but look at Josh does so great on Josh and Haley do so great on Whatnot because they have such a big following. They built that damn big following. They worked their asses off to get there. They sacrificed to get there. Of course they should reap the benefits of what they've built. And I've met them in person. They're wonderful people. They should do exactly what they're doing.
Beard, just to add color to your point there. It's because people are in a competitive mindset, but they think that if you do bad, they do well. That's not how it works. They should be competitive with themselves, beating their own numbers and growing. You're only in competition with yourself, not with other people. But there's this mindset that if you tear someone down, if you break them down, you'll somehow get ahead. But like you said, this marketplace doesn't work like this. It's way too big. There's room for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. How do I benefit from, thinking? Look at John in Vegas. He's an Angel fan with his hat on backwards. I hope his store crashes tomorrow. What does that mean? I'm gonna get sales tomorrow? It means nothing. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't get this thought that people this thought that well, if John is in Vegas doesn't sell anything, that means all the dollars are coming to my store.
Yeah,
it has no there's no correlation at all to that point.
I just think it's a mindset. It's just about, I think for the folks that are on YouTube, it's about building a channel by bringing other people down, or throwing out channel names to get more clout for your own channel, that type of thing. I think that's a lot of it, and it's unfortunate.
So Rocky Sales is saying he's in. I can't say that word. It looks like a misspelling of Mississippi. I know Rocky's in Canada because he's bought stuff from me at the auctions. I've sent him stuff into Canada. Mississauga? Mississippi-auga?
Mississippi-auga.
Mississauga, yeah.
He's one of the misogynists.
It's a fish.
Rocky's probably about half an hour away from me. It's not too far. 45 minutes.
But I think I'm probably exact opposite. I think the relationship you build in this business are worth, because there's no water cooler. You spend so much time alone doing this business. People go, how can you and Harley go to yard sales together? Don't y'all buy the same stuff?
No.
We never have an argument. If somebody wants to, hell, we just buy it. If we walk over to video games together, we just take turns, one at a time. You pick that one, I pick that one, or whatever. Or if he divides them up, so be it. I trust him with whatever.
Harlan's a great guy. Like I wish I had a best friend like him.
We have so much more fun together. The laughs and carrying on and the craziness that's happened at yards. And until we talked about this, until his brother Kevin passed away a couple of years ago. There was a group of like 7 or 8 of us that 3 or 4 weeks out of the month would meet on Fridays and eat dinner. Those are the best couple of years I had as reselling. Spending one night, 3 or 4 hours a week with other resellers, just talking things out, camaraderie. You'd be amazed how much that lifts your spirits and keeps you motivated to continue this fight. Niagara is a spray starts. It is. I've been to Niagara Falls once. That damn boat, I got soaked.
Mongoose GT. That's a
badass bike.
That's a triple wide wind styler. It's a hutch, but it's got a dyno GT seat on it. So if anyone out there has a white hutch seat, I'm not going to pay dumb money for it, but I'll pay stupid money for it. You find a white hutch seat. I mean, I got money. I'm not broke. I ain't got beer to picker money, but I ain't got Scott Zilke money, but my money spins too. I collect BMX bikes. I got probably 7 or 8 of them. I got a black 90s triple black dyno GT in the basement though, and a Haro.
If you're robbing this store in Missouri, make sure you grab the bikes, the black one and the white one.
The white one, yeah, that white one there is probably worth like $2,500, but I paid $25 for it. So like, that's a bolo. Like a good reselling show, you need at least one bolo, and BMX bikes are it. Anything from the 80s or 90s, pick them things up. The wheels off that bike are $400 or $500.
Hey, this is a bolo here. That's only made during the holiday season, and it was full when I started. This is some good shit.
Yeah, man. Need another one.
Why is it not empty?
Where's yours at, Dave?
I gotta make another drink.
Dave got a whole handle back there. Dave don't play with the little bottles. He gets it by the gallon.
Why is it not empty? You read the last sentence in the text.
What? I can't read it. I can't see nothing.
Don't be drinking all my shit. That's a text message. The one that must be obeyed sent me before. It says, "Don't be drinking all my shit."
That's funny.
I don't know if we can get another bottle till next year. The bolos.
I'm sure you can, but it's probably going to cost you,
folks. That's the thing that most newer resellers don't understand. The finding stuff to sell, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
That's actually the easy part.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when I was scanning at a Bartell's, which is owned by Rite Aid. And what's this? 50% off certain alcohols? Sure. I didn't find anything to resell, but I grabbed a few bottles.
Jacob. I didn't realize when you got 9 people, it makes a second row at the bottom. I never had to.
Pretty much.
Hey, Jake.
Jake.
See, so folks that don't do. So we've got 142 people here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It really means a lot that you would trust what this panel has to say. But I'm telling you, by just turning on the camera, you guys don't realize the quality of people. I mean, we've taken more time than we should have to talk about the negative, because the positive outweighs more. The panel the people that I would never met any of them, and the one that I talked to the most in this thing just showed up. I talked to Jacob. I talk to you about it every day, right? You call me more than I call you because I'm the worst. So he knows I'm the worst of my calls, so he just calls, and I truly appreciate his friendship, but he would not have met any of these folks without turning the camera on. And so, and there's Mark, SM Postcards, maybe the smartest person about numbers I've ever met in reselling. Oh my God, met Mark in person in Cincinnati, and you know how you meet somebody who is so smart and it makes your head spin. I think my head spin around about 4 or 5 times. Mark was, so into. You want to know somebody that knows the numbers down to the penny about what he sells and what he does and what he promotes and the time he spends. Mark's truly amazing, the talent he has.
And he's perfected it. He's perfected his craft.
100%.
Here's the story.
Yeah, we got to sing that.
The other guy.
Why am I in the middle?
You're the pivot point.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say that.
So if somebody old in the chat could look at the thing and determine which one of the Brady Bunch each one of us are, that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Marsha.
Pull it up.
Don't do that.
Mark says he sells colored paper.
This is a sausage fest.
Uh-oh. Somebody dipped out.
It looked like it was Pat.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
So Southern Vermont Vintage asks, what's your guys' opinion on saving cents to dollars at times using pirate ships and not going through eBay shipping? So I use pirate ship almost exclusively. eBay seems to be a touch cheaper sometimes on UPS, but it's made up for in Priority Cubic.
Cubic.
Ground Advantage Cubic.
Yeah.
So it's a wash whichever way. Since I take my postage to the post office and I give them a scan sheet, I use pirate ship. It's just what you get used to. I don't think either one's either better or worse.
I don't know what Megan does whatever's the cheapest. You know how she is. She's about saving that money.
I mean, they both have the positives. It's really nice on pirate ship because it remembers what your settings were if you sell multiple items. For eBay, because I seem to be the worst about. I'll get the weight in, but I never get the shipping dimensions in for some reason because I'm that person.
Yeah, make sure it's not 1 by 1 by 1. Are you right?
Yeah, I send a lot of 1 by 1 by 1s. Who are we kidding?
Yeah.
On the eBay, when I'm using eBay, I'm like, whatever. But it's about what you get used to. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer from eBay to pirate. It's what are you looking for out of it? I just have never liked the bulk shipping on eBay. That function.
It's terrible.
No, I don't like it.
I don't ship in bulk. We one-off hero over here.
Like I was on the phone with Dave or somebody, and I'm like, it's 3:45. I got to go. I mean, we're going to the post office now. What'd you say? The phone's breaking up, leaving the neighborhood. That's what I said. I like to ship. Like tonight after the show, I'll ship 4 or 5 items. I'll get up in the morning and ship a couple more and take them up there. So I need a pirate ship to print me out a sheet with all that on it. Pirate Ship does have great customer support. They're very. So I sent them. Somehow mine got messed up from the cheapest setting to UPS first or whatever, and chat fixed that in about 30 seconds. So they're like, "Hey, do this," and I'm like, "He's like, I'm not sure if it'll stick," and I shipped another. I'm like, "Oh, it's stuck. Thank you so much. I'm a dummy."
Yeah, their tech support, their chat's awesome.
Yeah, there's where you can't get somebody with eBay. Pirate Ship is very, very helpful. Beardy said my postcard friend wants to come in. I don't see nobody down there.
Oh, Mark.
Hey guys, I gotta run.
All right.
Have a good one, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care. Happy New Year.
See you
Hey,
on the
we're
power.
all-
See you next year.
Gosh.
Can you, wait. Can you speak Canadian to me before you go?
I'm on the spot now, eh, bud?
Oh, there you go.
There
You have a
go,
good
Ron.
evening. I hope you
from there.
don't hit a moose on the way home.
That's it, bye.
You have a good night.
All right,
I
take care.
expect you to sound just like.
Take care.
All right, Tim Fly, we'll see you.
Top of the morning.
I was thinking more like that's Dad's beer, eh?
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah, you better not be touching Dad's beer, eh?
Hey, Hoser.
Hoser.
yeah. Letterkenny is one of my favorite shows. Some Tim Fly.
Have you watched the new season yet?
I'm halfway through it.
No, I'm done.
What are you doing up so late, old timer?
Whoa.
Well, I had to come on tonight. I just got back from an auction. I'll show you what I bought here in a second. But guess where my wife, my daughter-in-law, and my 2 grandkids are? You'll never guess.
Cancun.
Huntsville, Alabama.
What? No way.
No way.
My daughter-in-law's brother or sister lives in Huntsville.
Right.
And they drove down Tuesday and Wednesday, and they're down there for the New Year's, and they're coming back. So I'm home alone.
Uh-oh.
So you chose not to come see me. That's what you're saying.
One of these days, I'm going to show up at your wing night, and I'm going to walk in the door.
We do
5
o'clock every Tuesday at 8. Well, except for the 23rd of this month, we're somewhere else. There's a Huntsville gathering.
It says Gurley, Alabama.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's
Lynn.
that's about 12 miles west of here.
Yeah, so that's where they're at.
Yeah,
So
they're
Mark, is your purchase rhyme with host cards?
No, I didn't. They had a little box of postcards. They were Continental. I only wanted to pay $5 for them, and about 200-300 cards. And some guy, they stuck a cameo in the box with it, and a jewelry guy bought the box for $25. I ran them up. So
what?
People wouldn't do that at an auction.
emergency.
Yeah, I remember that.
KMG 365.
I remember that.
70s.
And it has the thermos. This is worth about $50-$60.
Nice.
I paid $70 for the whole thing. I'll probably end up keeping it. I have a little collection of lunch boxes.
Keep them above your fish tanks.
I could do that, but the fish. No, the fish tanks are tied to the ceiling. No, this will go right up here.
I don't know how you find them in such good condition. When I was a kid, we beat the shit out of those things, you know?
Yeah, usually I got about 50 of them over there that I.
Never a chance.
And I buy all my bubble wrap from American Bubble Boy. They're about the cheap. They're the cheapest, and they're the ones that I can guarantee you are the right length. There was a big thing a couple months ago about several suppliers of bubble wrap come wherever they were buying it from. They were getting shorted, and they didn't know it, and so in turn they were shorting their customers. American Bubble Boy didn't have that problem.
And the other
flipping ain't easy. John introduced me to those guys. So
yeah, and I've been using them for a while. They not only were they fast a year ago, but I believe they've got multiple fulfillment locations now. I don't know who they're using, but mine comes 30 miles away.
Yeah, Joel's a super nice guy. I talked to him for I tried to talk to him for more, but Joni was screaming that I had to go, and I wanted to choke her that night. But she wasn't feeling good, so I don't have a lot of choice. But yeah, I talked to Joe for like 15 minutes. What a nice guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy.
Hi, John.
Bearded picker on Trash to Cash. I have not been on Trash to Cash.
Oh,
I've met all those guys. That's a good crew.
That's a good.
Even though I think they're mean to Kevin, Kevin says they're straight up good guys. So and so hey, that's good. But if he says it, that's good enough for me. All right, Brenda, thank you so much. You're awfully kind. Yeah, the like button would be great. Got a lot of folks hanging out with us. Any questions, just throw them in the chat. I'll try to get to them. If not, we'll just keep carrying on about. But the one thing I truly we were talking about with Josh right before he left is you've got to be ready for what's coming next. I'm telling you, if you're not paying attention, the biggest quality you can have as a reseller is to be able to understand the market and what is coming and react to it. It's not good enough to throw hate and shade at everyone else because it's not going you don't like where they're going. The sooner you accept the fact that the new way has changed and how can I take advantage of it for your personal business, and once you reach that point where so the spring seller update comes out and you can look at it and go, oh my God, they're trying to kill us. Or can you go, man, I am ready and excited. Look at this opportunity I have. I'm going to be the first one to take advantage of this because I want to be good at it because I want to step up on my competition. That's when you know that you're going to be the one that makes it versus the other.
Yeah.
Caesar, did we all meet through YouTube? Absolutely.
yeah.
I've met Jacob in person and Dave in person.
What about me?
Oh, hey, John. Sorry.
Your son traveled to Cincinnati.
I have Glenn's been in my damn van. What the hell?
I think I met Jake.
That's a great, Glenn. I love that story. We were at the first Nashville meetup. Glenn drove up from Louisiana, and he was going to follow us, me and Harlan, to the yard sales. And he finally, right before we left the parking lot, he goes, "I don't think I can keep up with you. Can I just ride with you?" And at the end of the day, he goes, "I really wouldn't have been able to keep up with you. Thanks for letting me go." We had a great time with Glenn that day. That was fun. Driving with me is dangerous, man. Pat, you lived through it, Pat. Hey,
I met him before. Actually, me and him roomed together at Tennessee.
And there's only one person that has the right to complain, and that would be Steve, and he's not here, so I don't want to hear
it. This is weird watching John on YouTube without Jenna. I only watch when Jenna's on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
He's so nice. Like, how can anyone be mean to him?
People find a way.
I know, but like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
John's his worst enemy. Anybody hates John is John. You know.
That's
right. When we were in California, Steve went through Death Valley, and that was the fun. We interstate out to LA.
There she is. Okay, now I can watch. I'm whole now, Jenna. Hi.
It was when we decided to go to Kmart. There was a Kmart up at Big Bear. and that road looked like oh my God, that if you've ever been up that road from wherever Dave lives in Chino Hills up to Big Bear, and it's like one big S. And I drove it like I was in an IndyCar van. Yes. Yeah, Wednesday, asked Steve about
that's Highway 8. That's Highway 18.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
We don't have mountains.
I was on two wheels several times. That was fun.
We have hills. No gullies, no mountains, just flat land.
It's flat here in Louisiana.
But I truly think that that's the one skill you've got to read. It's like reading the temperature of the room. You got to pay attention to the market. You got to understand where things are going. You can't. You could ignore TikTok before, but now you can't ignore TikTok because TikTok is a huge resale market. Now you've got to make a decision. I mean, I'm on there, and I haven't tried to sell yet. I probably should be modeling and selling big girl panties over there.
You should.
That's where Scott
There
does
you
his
go.
dances at. You'll see Scott over there going, shoo!
Shout out to the big girls.
He's over there. He's over there getting down with it.
Because there's really, people have such strong opinions. There's no right or there's no wrong way. It continues to be the theme of the show. What is your business model and how does it affect you? Every one of us is different.
I'm a niche.
And you've got a couple guys that are retired here. You've got a couple part timers. You've got a couple full timers. You've got one / part time full time who's got a job who he does them both. He's got a day job and he ships from his day job.
I do that.
Yeah, that'd be you. But none of them are right or wrong. It's just the opportunity that's presented itself.
You can be a slumlord and a reseller.
I know he's on that one.
Fart Sack Jag, what's up, man?
Sorry, Jake. Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, Pat D's drove 15 and a half hours to Nashville.
Is it a good time to sell inflatable Miami Dolphins goalposts?
Yeah, especially they got one of their bigger games of the year. Don't they play the Cowgirls this weekend?
No, they play Baltimore.
They play Baltimore. Baltimore.
They already whipped up on the Cowboys. We don't want to talk about that.
That was this past weekend. Who's the Cowboys got a big game too, right?
Yeah, Detroit tomorrow night.
Detroit. That's it.
I think we play Washington State or somebody New Year's. I'm not sure exactly who.
The dysfunctional Brady bunch. I'd gotta agree with that.
Yeah, Ravens may be the team to win it all.
So, Scott, you were talking about TikTok. I want to tell you a story about Facebook. So, Facebook, Instagram, I put a postcard up every day now. I've been doing it for the last 6 to 8 months for a reason. On my Facebook page, I have some postcards. I put a disclaimer on there. We don't monitor this page. If you need to talk to Mark, send an email here. I did that for years. Some guy sent me an email and said, I'd like to buy some cards from you from a certain publisher. I said, okay, I don't list by publisher. If you can find them, do it. A week later, he bought 400 cards.
Wow.
So now you know what I do is I monitor the page. So that's what it can do. And so I just put one postcard a day on Instagram and TikTok. And then Pinterest, I have about 15,000 pins. And during peak time, I usually get 30,000 monthly views on Pinterest. And they can click on there and go to eBay. And so it does help a little bit.
Does Pinterest pay anything out for that kind of views, or do they?
Pinterest, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for years, but eBay has that social button under marketing now where you can link your listing. So when I list my 40 a day, I go in and I take whatever it shows me and I list them out on Pinterest. So I'm putting up 8 to 10 a day, and they can do that. But Facebook and Instagram, I think, is helping YouTube just a little bit and maybe get people into the store just a little bit, take the rough edges off. I'm not trying to market on Facebook and Instagram. I don't use my phone as much as I use my computer.
So Cedric's got a question that tons of people ask, and I ignore most of the time. How often do you run into fraudulent activity? Very rare. They will get somebody who, most people will tell me that I'm wrong. Oh, look at the returns. And I will tell you, you are a business owner, just like the platform will tell you, it's part of doing business. Was I on the phone with you the other day, Dave? Or it was either Dave or Jacob when I was walking through Walmart, and there were baskets upon baskets of returns.
Yeah.
But Dave, I went through Walmart because I was looking for some kind of coffee or something, and there must have been 25 baskets just full of their return. I made a comment today, and I'm like, man, resellers have no clue how good we've got it. We'll bitch about one return here or there.
Look
And
at Walmart.
the baskets are, I mean, they're just everywhere. They've got employees that are coming up and grabbing baskets.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not talking about, oh, this basket's got 3 for automotive and this one's got, I'm talking about they're over the top full of everything and all different conditions.
Yeah. I calculated in about 3% a year when I was doing toys and stuff for refunds. And I was always like 0.03. With postcards, I've had 7 this year. 2 were my fault and 5 were not received. And with eBay standard envelope insurance, you just put a claim in. I got all my money back. I made $30 back this year.
Yes, so the problem, Caesar, is when you start looking at it that way, is when a customer truly has a problem, you don't help them, and so you become very jaded to the customer, and well, what does that really matter? I sell online, but it affects everything you do. It affects the way you list items, the way you treat people, the way you do things. That negativity, you can't allow it to come in. It truly, because one of the hardest things you can do is allow yourself to become very negative and very jaded towards customers who are buying your items, and then have to come in and decide, I'm listing $400 worth of stuff today. It's very difficult to get yourself to list $400 worth of stuff when you're so concerned that, oh my God, I might get scammed, I might get this. It just most of my returns, I have a part to play in most of my returns. There's an error I can find that I could have done something better.
Yeah, I think
so. I went and looked, and I do monitor it, and it's within spec for me. So right now on FBA, I've got 283 returns. That might sound like a lot, but it's actually only 2.89%, which for me, I'm cool.
And how many of those were you able to resell? Quite a few of them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of what I did with what I sell, the package is opened, but it's actually just a plain cardboard box. And so now Amazon won't resell it for me, which they should. And all the packing's still in there. So I get it back, pull it out of the box, put it in a new one, send it back in.
So so Caesar, there's a little bit but don't let anybody fool you. You can do stuff like, I sell electronics, so in every picture there's a picture of the serial number. Flipping Ain't Easy John sells a lot of electronics too, and other kind of things. So you do stuff to protect yourself, and then if something happens, if it comes back in the wrong item, wrong position, you just take the 50%. I buy very well, so even at 50%, it covers my costs. I make a little money. I move on, and so you use some of the things to your advantage that you're allowed to do. If I taught Dave up that lesson the hard way. Sometimes it's not worth trying to get the 100% refund of your money on Amazon when they'll give you 50% without an argument. Because you can lose the 100%, you'll just take the 50%. So
I've made that mistake before.
All right, we've been 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Don't get me wrong. When I return the wrong item, I open a case and I get 30 to 50%. Whatever. I recover what I can, and just the cost.
50% is eBay and Amazon. You can do 50% on the eBay too.
Right.
If you're top rated.
Right.
All right, 2 hours, 17 minutes. I don't have a buzz anymore, so I'm calling this a night. Yeah, it'll be the last show. I'll be back. I'll have a video, some shorts out tomorrow, but a video out Sunday, and then I'll be back Wednesday. John will be Flipping Ain't Easy every Monday and Friday. It's 5 Central. I don't know what the hell it is your time, so you figure it out.
3 p.m. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern. That's Mondays and Fridays. But don't forget the Power Hour podcast at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's a good one. If you're not subscribed to that one,
it's my screensaver, John.
All right. Awesome.
So that's basically just Josh and John. And I was on that blessed to be on that a few weeks ago. Basically, they just come and hang out like this and hit the record button and start talking about a topic, and you just get honest conversation and in depth, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a good conversation.
Brad Relics, he doesn't have a live show. He just lots of shorts, videos.
I put out a lot of content that is what we sell. I know beat the dead horse, but it's been done. But I've been doing it that way for a while, and I put out some educational videos in my own style.
Are we wrapping up?
And I'm trying to think what kind of show Dave does, but the crazy shit.
Oh yeah, come! You got to come subscrib, man. I'm trying to get monetized.
Dave does bong reviews. Dave does bong reviews.
I do weird stuff.
It was Tom and Jerry videos I got notified for today.
Tom and Jerry told me, yeah, go check out the mouse. He's got almost 5K.
I think Todd should do a hand puppet show or shadow puppet, whatever.
Yes,
Todd is Monday and Fridays, 8 a.m. Central on the greatest hand in America right there.
Yeah, well,
so make sure you're following all these guys. Great content. Dave's in the clouds. I mean, Dave stays in the clouds. Who are we kidding?
Come check
Poor
out
Dave. Dave's a good guy.
All right, we're gonna have a nice night. Hey, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, and we will see you. We'll see you in 2024.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Roll Tide to you, Glenn. Roll Tide.
Go Tigers.
Take it easy.